So we've made a video about the Sane Progressives videos on the Justice Democrats, which is a big topic, and I want to bring it up a lot here because it's extremely important that we talk about it constructively, and we try to make all the changes possible quickly so that we don't let it get too far without being set. So the last time she talked about the voter fraud and all of that, she made that the focal point of her video, and that Bernie Sanders didn't do enough. So she then made another video now, 47 minutes and 30 seconds. It is titled, Justice Democrats' Response to Fraud of 2016 Election Illustrates Core Flaw in Plan. So it's basically reiterating what she said in the last one, but this time it's a little bit more structured, and it shows a lot of the evidence for it, and it breaks down exactly what Kyle says. So what Kyle says is that here's his ending point, okay? His sentiment is that Bernie's still a senator, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get congressional members into Congress who are progressives. So what he's saying is that it's hard, not impossible. So he's down to work for it, even though it's hard. So what he says is that the DNC was biased, but they did not rig the election. And here is where the fundamental disagreement between Debbie and Kyle comes in. And this is interesting, okay, because she brings up her evidence for it, and literally the Arizona Secretary of State came out saying that, yeah, there was literally rigging. It's not just biasy, it's rigging. They were flipping the parties of the people who were registered. So am I going to completely agree to say that all of the rigging would have erasing all of the rigging would have equated to a Bernie Sanders win with enough delegates to take it? I wouldn't go that far because he got his clock cleaned in the South, and that was the main problem. But would I say that it was rigged? Yeah, dude, it was rigged. Just please admit it, dude. You're really like fucking me over here because I'm trying to agree with you, dog, but if you're not going to agree with the sentiment that it was rigged, even though there's massive evidence to prove it, dude, you're fucking yourself over, because it was rigged, dude. Like, she just showed you the evidence, and we know this too. There's, they literally flipped their parties, and there was stuff going on. So, and here's the thing, man, like, whose advice and whose sentiment are you going to take? You're going to take Debbie's or Kyle? So yeah, Kyle voted, and he did like his whole stories and all that whatnot. But was he vocal in campaigning or taking part in the Bernie Sanders campaign? Number one, he didn't endorse him. That is probably one of the most important things. Number two, he wasn't that involved in the campaign. Definitely not as much as she was. So she saw a lot of things. Now, again, would I go as far to say that without the rigging, Bernie would have won? I would disagree there. But for Kyle to say that there was no rigging, it was just biasy, that they didn't go in and switch, is just wrong. It's incorrect. And the evidence is there, and she kind of brings that up. Now, to the second point, she brings up that the whole thing about the Soros connection. And George Soros is a guy who basically uses his money to gain geopolitical power and power in general for his thing. And it's a dirty trick to do because you're hijacking the people's movement and you're using it for yourself so you can gain more power and you can grow your little empire that you have. So that is pretty scary indeed and pretty horrible. And she brings that out there, and I want to know what you guys think. So don't be a bunch of stupid idiots and just be pissed off because of what I'm saying here, because I'm giving you both sides and I'm giving you the perspectives right now, and I'm going to tell you what is objective. What is objective? Being objective right now, you would say in the argument that they're having, yes, there was rigging in the election. It's pretty evident, right? But would it have gave Bernie Sanders the win? No, because he lost all of the South states. You're not going to win losing every single South state. It's impossible. So that's what you would say as an objective person, which is what I am. I'm being objective here. Now, what is my what is my thing with both sides here? My thing with Sane Progressive here is that it's not providing necessarily constructive criticism, but instead providing this is what's wrong. But there's no like, this is what we should do, and hey, I'm still with you. It's like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna give you my middle finger. We were gonna start a people's movement. Fuck the Justice Dems. That's what she's saying. So I'm not exactly for that. Now, then again, what I'm skeptical about personally is, here's my problem with this, okay? And here, I'm going to explain to you why, and I'm going to try to explain to you as best as I can, offer an example here. Here's the thing, okay? The Justice Democrats, unfortunately, is not really seeming like it's of the people. Now, there's a difference between for the people, supposedly for the people, and of the people. And there's a huge difference here. It is that, so they may be funding, right? But who's really the founders and the leaders of this? Cenk Uygur of TYT, Kyle Kalinske of Secular Talk. What do those two people have in common? They're both juggernauts on YouTube. So what you're getting here is the establishment of alternative media, which is what they are. So they're not reaching out to the people and saying, give us your ideology contributions, and hey, how should we edit this? What do you guys think? What about this? And you guys help us. It's like, and it makes me start to question certain things, like, how are you really gonna vet it, dude? Like, at the end of the day, these guys are busy doing their own shows, making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And yeah, sure, they have Bernie Sanders campaign guys, but if they're not really getting the money, then what are they in it for? So yeah, I know it's nonprofit, but my point is that the effectiveness I am a little skeptical of, and we'll see what happens. But like, they followed me on Twitter, and then I tried direct messaging them to try and get in contact with one of the guys, like Kyle, so I can fucking talk to them. Because I'm a smaller YouTube channel, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm supporting what you guys are all doing. I am very similar views to you guys. I'm trying to get out there. I didn't say any of that. I was just like, hey, can you guys talk? And then today they unfollow me. So I'm like, okay. Now, that wasn't even the tipping point, but just thinking about it, and it makes me realize that, please, guys, don't put all of your eggs into this basket. Sure, Justice Dems is a great movement and all, but it's of the establishment, and that's who's running it. And it's of the alternative media establishment, which is still not of the people. So we need to be skeptics here, because that is what in principle we should always be, skeptics. So we must be skeptics, and we must make sure that they do not fuck us over, and that they do not take this money and just, they can allocate it however they want. But at the end of the day, it's for their reputation, it's for their legacy, it's for the news coverage, the media coverage that they get. It was already on MSNBC. So, and it's just, it's honestly disgusting. So, I am for Justice Democrats. I think it's great, and it's a great movement that we need. But they need to make more of an effort to reach out to the people, to contribute ideas-wise, and just in different ways like that, to make them more combined and make them more a part of the movement. Because for me, it's like, I'm out here grinding, I'm putting out these videos, you guys aren't doing like shit to help, because you guys are already up there. You're already on the pedestal. You're on the establishment pedestal there. You're just trying to rise, and you don't give a shit about the people under you, even though you were at that position at one point. So, again, they follow me, unfollow me. I don't know what to tell you guys. So, we need to make sure that this doesn't get out of hand, because, guys, I know how much you guys love Justice Democrats, and trust me, I love them too. But we need to be skeptics, and we need to make sure that all of our eggs do not go in this basket.